No matter what I'm looking at, if something intrigues me, my mind immediately goes to shoes. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be something you find in nature. It could be architecture. You know, you can go to places like the salvage yard and find all sorts of unusual items that can be worked or at least inspire you. I've made shoes from old stairway railings, from old hip replacements. Anything I can find that I can take and turn into a shoe. I'm Chris Donovan, and I'm a shoe designer. I started out as a telephone operator. I ended up staying there 25 years, and I knew I had a lot more in me. And that's when I think I kind of started to think, you know, God, there's got to be something more out there. I remember the day I got fascinated with shoes. I went to a Catholic high school, of course, and the girls wore some of the ugliest uniforms. And so to express themselves, they would either do their hair or their shoes or their accessories. And I remember sitting in class and one of the girls walked in the highest platforms I'd ever seen. And I was like, that's amazing that you can do that with an article of clothing. Almost like this piece of art on your foot. This is where I do my sewing. I do my finer work here. Sometimes I'll do my sketching. I keep all my shoes here. These were based on the idea of surgery. I did sutures for seams. I then spray painted it so that it would look vascular. And these are hip replacements that I had cut and made into heels. So I was outside in the yard and an old lilac bush had been strangled by vines over the years into these beautiful shapes. And I cut it down and I sanded it down so that it would fit onto the shoe. And people seemed to like it. I got diagnosed with prostate cancer. It was caught very early, and so it all worked out perfectly fine. But it also taught me something that you never know when your life's expiration date is. I got one time here, and I gotta make the best of this. So Polimoda is one of the 10 best fashion schools in the world. I applied and I had to do an interview over the phone. God, I was well over 50 and I had no design background. But he saw my sketches. I had sent my portfolio over and he says, yeah, you're accepted. And I got to the school the first day. It was a big Italian villa in the middle of Florence. And the hallways are just filled with beautiful, beautiful fashion work. And I walk in, I'm like, I am screwed. I have no idea what I'm doing here. I obviously did not look like a fashion student. I got mistaken for a janitor at one point. The first 3 months were tough. They were really, really tough because I wasn't getting it. The teacher comes over and she's like, that's awful. What are you doing? And I'm like, she goes, what were you? And I go, I was a technician. I was like a phone repair guy, kind of guy. And she goes, so you're crude. Do crude. And it started clicking. And all of a sudden, my design started changing, my ideas started changing. And all of a sudden, they fell in love with my stuff. I was asked to open the final graduation show with my collection. All the people from Gucci and Prada come to see the show. I got rave reviews about my collection. Then I started posting them on Instagram and Facebook, and people started seeing them. Where this is going, I'm not exactly sure. I'm scared. That's always gonna be present. Fear shouldn't paralyze you. It should make you move. And you just reframe it as exciting. Being a success or failure wasn't the point of all this. If I fail at it, I'm okay with it. If I'd gone through life and not tried, what would be the point? But I did it. And I wouldn't change a thing.